What's up, guys? Welcome back to today's episode of The Sports Sermon. We are brought to you by Scooch, the most functional phone case on the market. Check out ScoochCase.com to get yours today and use the code SPORTS18, sports with a Z, of course, to get a 10% discount on your order. Stay tuned till the end for a special Scooch giveaway as well. But now, today's episode. So we're here today to talk about college football. Week 1 is all but over. We just have one more game tomorrow night, Florida State and Virginia Tech, the 20 versus the 19th team. But we're going to record this tonight right after the Miami LSU game. I'm Jason Gandhi. As always, I am joined by Dylan Staggy and Dan Majors, and today we are joined with a special guest and University of Chicago star basketball player Zach Munson. He's been on the show a bunch. You guys know him. He's here with us today. We're recording it in our dorm room at IU. How's everybody doing?
Doing well, Jason. How are you?
You know, I'm living the dream. I'm loved the first weekend of college football. So excited that we're back. Dan, you feeling all right over there?
Oh, yeah. So excited right now.
Awesome. Zach, you got anything to say to our listeners? Welcome back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's get into the Miami LSU game that we just saw finish. Dan, what's your initial take on the Miami LSU game?
So, it's kind of interesting. I mean, Miami, we had a lot of questions coming into the season. Is Malik Rozier legit? He struggled at the end of the year. I think they lost their last 3. The secondary struggled at the end of the year. And we saw that in this first game. And the thing is that I'm not sure LSU is actually this good, though. I think Orgeron got him really hyped for this game. Miami is not as good as we think. And this might be an irrelevant game looking back at the end of the year. So,
see, I couldn't agree more with you on that. I was thinking this exact same thing as I'm watching the game. I was legitimately sitting here thinking, you know, Dan asked us this question a few weeks ago about who is that top 10 team that might not be ranked. Miami definitely looks like that team right now. Yes, Penn State struggled. Yes, Michigan State struggled, even though they weren't in the top 10. But yes, those teams struggled. No one has looked as bad as Miami. Yes, Malik Rozier has looked bad, but it's not even Malik Rozier. What happened to this turnover chain? 33 points to a team that has been known for not having a quarterback? I think the exact same thing. We could look back at the end of the year and say, remember when we hyped up Miami LSU? Both teams are unranked and neither have over 7 wins. I 100% agree with you, Dan.
Yeah,
I think – sorry, just to go on record. I think LSU – I think they're going to be better than what we thought. Like, we all thought – I thought they were going to go 5-7. I think they're going to get 7 or 8 wins now, just looking at this game. I don't know.
I think they're playing better than I would give them credit for. Their defense is one of the best in the country, and I think we all knew that. For me, it's the question marks on the offense, and I don't know if I trust Joe Burrow yet. He looked good tonight, but I need to see it longer.
Yeah, they're definitely overachieving in this game.
For sure.
So.
Yeah, Dylan, Zach, what do you guys think?
I would say that LSU's kicker on fire. So he started off last year. He was at Assumption College. Now he's in LSU. And he's kicking 4 for 4 with a long of 54. I mean, kicker kind of an irrelevant position, but I mean, that's pretty clutch, having a great kicker.
Yeah, what a story. That's kind of sick. Assumption College.
Assumption College, now he's freaking Miami.
Shout out if someone can name where Assumption College is in the comments.
Right, yeah. Let us know. But yeah, Malik Rozier looking god-awful. Doesn't look like a ACC quarterback. I mean, very disappointed. And the defense doing absolutely nothing. Where's the swag we saw from Miami last year? Where's that swag?
I agree.
It's all gone.
It's still in Miami Stadium when they beat Notre Dame. They fell there. It all came there and it stayed there for sure. All right, let's move on to some games that we want to talk about. Similar to how we're doing the college football preview each week, we're doing the exact same thing for our recaps. Just bring up some games, some takeaways, really whatever you guys want to talk about. Let's go to Dylan first. Dylan, what's your first takeaway?
Yeah, so we got to talk about that Penn State versus Appalachian State game. Went to overtime. Appalachian State in that fourth quarter, they looked like they were just so much better than Penn State. They ran the ball down their throats, and unfortunately they went for that field goal and missed it. I was rooting for App State on the upset on the 1-year anniversary of them beating Michigan. But, I mean, what an exciting game week 1.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. I mean, I'm here at Dayton right now, and there's a bunch of kids from Pitt State. They're a bunch of Pitt fans, and they all hate Penn State. So, like, it was just a really fun game to watch, and then it just kind of sucked. I mean, Trace McSorley, though, what a game from him at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that
all they
last
really
drive.
have. That is all they have. If you look at that game, and I mean, I said that in the summer.
You're sleeping on Miles Sanders. Come on now.
Okay. Yes, they have Miles Sanders too, but you really look at Penn State, I think of the McSorley and their defensive line and a little bit of Miles Sanders. That's all I really see.
I think if Penn State was Michigan, if you put a Michigan uniform on Penn State, you're saying Miles Sanders is a baller. It's just because he has to fill that Saquon Barkley footsteps. I like Miles Sanders a lot.
Okay, I mean, I don't think he's bad by any means.
Yeah. My initial takeaway was honestly just, I don't know, when these games happen, I always give more credit to the teams that are there instead of the teams that aren't showing up to say, like, Michigan State, I give more credit to Utah State. Here I give more credit to Appalachian State. Like, whatever team you want to go to, like, I give more credit to Appalachian State. Zach Thomas looked like a stud. He controlled the game the entire game, had no issue handing the ball off to Jalen Moore when he needed to, but also would keep it when he needed to himself. I love the decision-making by Zach Thomas. He really stood out to me. I thought he put himself on this national stage beautifully. And honestly, I was not even paying attention to this game. Zach, Dylan, and I were at B-Dubs, and Zach was like, hey, turn around, App State's close to Penn State. I was like, what? And it was like the fourth quarter, and it was close. So Zach Thomas really impressed me personally.
And I really think that App State should have won that game. I mean, you look at it, they should have gone for it on fourth down at the end of the game when it was like 4th and 3.
When they kicked it?
Yeah. The field goal. It's like 4th and 3, like on the 40-yard line, and they went for like a 50-something yard kick when they should have went for it on fourth down, try to get that first down, and then they had like a timeout or two left, get in better field goal range. I questioned that call, and then once they hit overtime, I knew Penn State would win. Usually,
we all said
like
that.
90% of the time, the better team was in overtime, so I knew they were screwed. They had to go for it and win the game there, and I just don't agree with the decision making.
I agreed. You cannot put your game in the hands of a sophomore kicker. That's from App State. Like, yes, App State's like a real, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know you mean.
An App State kicker versus like a hot App State offense. I just would never give that ball to the kicker. Yeah. All right, Dan, what's one of your games or takeaways you want to talk about?
So my takeaway is my player of the week pre-week, Brandon Wimbush. He was 12 of 22, 170 yards, a touchdown and interception, along with 19 carries, 59 yards. No rushing touchdowns. But he just absolutely balled out, especially in that first quarter. He looked amazing. He looked like a totally different guy than what he was last year. Second half of the game, struggled a little bit, but, I mean, he put Notre Dame right where they needed to be in that first half.
Yeah, for me, like I said, Dylan, Zach, and I watched the game together, and one thing all of us just kept bringing up was more the play calling than specifically Brandon Wimbush's play. I absolutely loved that they let Brandon Wimbush air it out. There was none of this like dink and dunk stuff. They let him go deep, give his receivers a shot, and I thought it completely opened up the offense. You saw Jafar Armstrong get in the end zone twice when really, I mean, he is not a top running back in the country. He's very good, but like he's nothing special. But he had a pretty solid game in terms of like big runs when they need it. I thought Wimbush obviously was the catalyst of that, but for me it was more the coaching staff. Not only do they get them ready for a big game to open the season when the lights turn on, which is something Notre Dame struggle with, they also changed the playbook for Brandon Wimbush, and I thought it was absolutely a huge thing to see from Notre Dame and gave me a lot of confidence if I was a Notre Dame fan.
Yeah, personally, I've not been a huge Brandon Wimbush fan. I think he's an excellent runner, a very good runner, but his throwing, I question a lot, especially his deep throws. But so going into this game, I was very nervous, but I love how he played as a quarterback and put him in a great position. He clearly outplayed Shea Patterson, who everyone's been hyping him up, and I mean, he's good, but I don't really know about like if he's that good. But I was really worried that Notre Dame would get off to a slow start, like in the Miami game, and just fall apart from there. But they got off to a hot start, got the momentum, and Shea Patterson he looked like he didn't even want to be there. I mean, he came out of the game several times, was hurt, came back in, didn't play very well. I don't like his attitude at all. Me and Jason were talking about that. So I think he clearly outplayed him, which was the difference maker in this game.
Zach, just one thing.
Yeah.
So you obviously came into this game, you didn't like Wimbush, but obviously now that
as a passer.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But so obviously now that you saw what he did, that changed your mind, right?
I have to see more than just one game. I mean,
for sure,
he still had several throws which were very, very iffy. Like he threw off like he jumped past it to nobody, and
his footwork was weird a lot of the time.
I mean, in that long throw to Fink, shout out to Chris Fink.
Horrible throw, not a smart throw at all.
Yeah,
double covered to a white guy in the end zone. 9 times out of 10, you're losing that battle.
Give that credit to Fink, though.
No, for sure. No, I'm just saying that's more him than it is Wimbush.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the third to Equinemius St. Brown, the third to Chris Fink.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
I don't know. I gotta see more than just one game.
And see, that's play calling for me, though. That's the coaches trusted Wimbush to say, hey, if you see the throw, go make that throw. Last year, I didn't see that from Wimbush. I didn't see that from the coaching staff. I was very impressed with that. Zach, you mentioned Shea Patterson. I'll get into that in a second. Dylan, you've been pretty quiet. What do you think about this?
I thought Wimbush, I mean, he played pretty solid. You can't discount the rushing attack either. He also rushed for 59 yards on the game. I mean, all around it was pretty solid. I didn't like from Notre Dame that they let up, though, in the fourth quarter. Kind of let Michigan almost get back into it for a second. When
they had a chance to win.
Yeah, I mean Notre Dame, excuse me, really should have pulled away a little bit more. But overall, I think there is a lot to like from this game.
One thing to take away there, that's the best defense Notre Dame's going to see all year. So
I wouldn't say best. I'd say most talented.
Well,
I'm not sure they're the best unit.
Well, who's better?
No, that's the best. I think that's the best defense Notre Dame will see.
I like Stanford's defense a lot. I think that USC's defense people could be sleeping on a little bit.
Not better than Michigan.
Those are the two that really stick out to me because I don't know about Michigan if all the talent's going to come together. Devin Bush had a heck of a game. Rashawn Gary's obviously a stud, but I just want to see that all come together. But I agree, definitely one of the toughest. I don't know. I wouldn't sleep on Stanford's defense. But let's keep going. I'll just go into mine. It's back in this Notre Dame-Michigan game. Obviously, we're going to talk about it a lot because it was so important. I'm going to go with Shea Patterson. Zach, you kind of teased it a little bit. And so if you guys are longtime listeners of the show, you guys know that I've been hyping up Shea Patterson for a while. When he was at Ole Miss, I loved him. Then he came to Michigan. I said, hey, this is going to fix all the problems. Michigan's going to be really freaking good. Watch out. None of that's changed for me except for one part of that. Nothing has changed. I think Shea Patterson comes to make Michigan really good. And I think Michigan is still one of, if not the best team in the Big Ten. I still am confident in them getting out of the Big Ten East. Yeah, Big Ten East. I'm confident in that. I think they're going to go on and get hot. But whatever. What did change for me was how I personally feel about Shea Patterson. It has nothing to do with the stats. I don't care that he was 20 for 30, 227 yards and a pick. That did not matter 1 second. The reason I am clarifying all of this is because when I watched Shea Patterson play last night, I was so disappointed in Shea Patterson's attitude. Zach, you kind of talked about it for a second. We talked about it all night long. He'd get hit. He'd not complete a pass on third down. He'd throw an interception, whatever it may be. He would just start to whine and complain. And it wasn't my bad. It was, what the heck are you doing? Why did that happen to me? He seemed like a spoiled rich kid that had everything go his way, and for the first time, it didn't. And for me, it rubbed me the wrong way. So while I still think it will work out, I am no longer rooting for him. Shea Patterson has lost me as a fan. I'm not one to make snap judgments, but when I see that attitude in probably the biggest game of your season, not including the Ohio State game, it turned me off completely. Shea Patterson is no longer my dude. It's the Kyler Murray train officially. I had to put that out there. I was so disappointed in Shea Patterson.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think, what do you like about Michigan that you still think they're a top team in the Big Ten?
I mean, I still like their offense. I still think Shea Patterson's a heck of a player. That's what I'm saying. This isn't a talent-based thing. This is a personality, mental thing that I can't get over now. Talent-wise, I think he's still a top 5 quarterback in the Big Ten. I think he is still a very talented quarterback. I think their defense, obviously, like we said, is unbelievable. It sucks that Tarek Black got hurt. He's so good. Donovan Peoples-Jones is a baller. I like Karen Higdon. He's not great. He's fine. But really, it's his defense. Okay, so I am one of Harbaugh's biggest haters, and we all know that. But he's only a few plays away from being one of the best coaches in college football. that one spot against Ohio State. One more play, I forget which other one it is, that there's like 2 or 3 plays that every Michigan fan will point to. Yeah, the punt. That's what it was. I was stupid. How did I forget that? All these plays, like, and that's why I'm not giving up on Harbaugh as a Michigan fan. I'm not a Michigan fan, but if I was a Michigan fan, I'm not giving up on him. And so I guess I am technically a Michigan fan this year because I think they're going to be good. So like I'm rooting for them or whatever. So I don't like one game's not going to do it for me. Zach said the same thing about Wimbush. He's not going to absolutely love him after one game. I'm not giving up on Michigan after one game. I think they are so talented. I still think this coaching staff is fantastic. It's just a bad game for Shea Patterson, and his attitude is what turned me off. Does that answer your question, Dan?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I think he definitely took a step back from what I thought he was going to be. So,
but you don't think that can change? Like, you think that's like we saw what Shea Patterson is?
One game.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Their defense looked really good. So,
exactly.
I can see him.
Yeah.
He's definitely not going to look like that the whole year.
I mean, he really needs some confidence, though. Like, after this game, he is absolutely nothing. And the attitude, too, it doesn't seem like he's going to bounce back from that very quickly. So,
and low-key, Dylan McCaffrey looked good. Like, he looked like I would, yeah, I mean, I was impressed by him. Last thing on this game I was going to put out there, I was more impressed with Notre Dame than I was not impressed with Michigan. That's what my biggest takeaway was. Notre Dame played better than I ever could have imagined they'd play this season. Not Michigan played so bad. For me, that was my personal takeaway. I don't know if you guys agree, but I was more impressed with Notre Dame than I was not impressed with Michigan.
Like, the defense played so well. Like,
exactly.
I mean, they gave up 17 points, but actually only 10 because of that kickoff return.
Yeah.
So, I mean, letting off 10 against a team led by Shea Patterson, who people had him as a Heisman hopeful, like, including Jason.
Yeah.
Like, that's great. And so, like, in the touchdown they did give up was at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And they were playing, like, prevent defense. So, like, you know, I great showing from defense.
Yeah. How far do you guys think Notre Dame rises and Michigan falls?
We talked about this. Zach. Zach. Okay, here goes. Explain it.
So, first of all, like, the preseason rankings are very, very, like, pointless and dumb. So, like, I just have a question. Not saying it, like, necessarily should happen, but why shouldn't Auburn be number 1 in the nation going into next week and Notre Dame be number 2 in the nation? Because they do have the best wins.
What are you talking about?
This is so dumb because you just said you just said the preseason rankings were dumb. So you're taking into account those to base your rankings for next week.
But like, we can all agree that, like, having a Michigan win is better than, like, Alabama having a Louisville win. Like, I'm not saying it should happen, but, like, it's just, like, kind of, like, pointless. So therefore, back to the question, I think Notre Dame should be a top 7 team ranked, like 6 or 7. That's what I think.
I think Notre Dame's going to be number 9. So.
I said 9. That's exactly what I was going to say. I said 9.
Yeah, 9 or 10 for me too.
Like, how can they not be like 6 or 7? Like, I can see, like, I don't know, like 9 just seems way not good enough.
I mean, who even knows if Michigan is good yet?
That's like, freaking true. They could be 6 and 6.
I know that, but like, who knows that? Who's like number 7? Like
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, like,
who knows if Oklahoma's good? They just put up 63 points in FAU.
But like, who knows?
Let's just put Notre Dame in front of Oklahoma real quick. No.
The one argument you have is if Penn State lost and Washington lost, which they did.
Okay, they should undoubtedly jump Penn State. And
no, I know. What I'm saying is, like, no big team lost. Like, how are you going to put them over Alabama, Clemson, Georgia? So what'd you say, top 6?
7.
Okay. So you'd put them at number 7. You would go Bama, Clemson, Georgia, and then Ohio State, Wisconsin, Oklahoma.
Or better than Wisconsin.
You're saying they should go over Wisconsin? Wisconsin's 4.
If I did the preseason rankings, I would not have Wisconsin that high. I don't think they're that. Like,
okay. We are now splitting hairs because you're not making your own rankings. How the rankings are?
Okay.
Where do you think they will finish?
So
next week,
Wisconsin's 5. Who's
4?
6?
They're 4. Ohio State's 5.
And then who's 6?
Washington, who lost,
Drop.
and then Oklahoma 7. Miami 8.
Okay.
You're going as high as
they
8.
Should be 8.
Yeah, exactly.
No lower than 8 though. I think 8 like.
I think you're as high as 8, as low as 10.
Oh, as low?
You're 8 to 10. My personal opinion.
If they jump 2 spots, I'm gonna stop watching football. If they jump 2 spots.
I mean,
wait. Let's put that down. Zach Munson, say it again. You will stop watching football.
I'll stop watching sports.
Sports.
Oh shoot! Wait. Oh, go ahead.
I boycotted college football 2 years ago, and Michigan State went 3-9. They had like a 7-game losing streak. I boycotted college football that year, so it happens, Zach. I'm holding you to this. If they go up two,
I'm actually serious.
No, you are. We're putting
Okay,
this.
yeah.
If you go up two
Yeah.
spots, what Dan? What's up?
I didn't think about Miami losing. Now that Miami lost, I say Notre Dame goes to 8 probably.
As I said, 8 at the highest, 10 at the lowest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had them at 9. Sorry. But
Okay.
I think they're going now.
Sweet. Let's move on. For all the other fans that don't live in the Midwest, except for that, all of my takeaways are kind of in the Big Ten, but it's fine. Dylan, what's your number 2?
So, I don't know if it's too early to jump off of the Khalil Tate Heisman bandwagon yet. I kind of liked him as one of my favorites going into the year, but, I mean, Arizona just looked absolutely terrible against BYU. They made a little bit of a comeback at the end, but, I mean, Khalil Tate, 50% completion percentage. I mean, he didn't turn the ball over, but, I mean, that rushing attack that just makes him so lethal. He only had 14 yards rushing. And BYU just, for most of the game, just came out and dominated them. Physically, everything. I mean, do you guys think it's too early to jump off the Arizona and Khalil Tate hype train?
I personally don't, because I love Kevin Sumlin, and I like what he did with Manziel. I think Khalil Tate could have a similar type offense structured around him. I just thought BYU came out to play. 40-year-old veteran quarterback Tanner Mangum just looked good. And
What?
yeah, I swear he's been there for like 10 years. Tanner Mangum. He's been.
Oh, yeah.
He swear he's been in college
I
football
thought it was
forever.
actual- okay.
And anyway, so it's the same thing with Michigan, and same thing with Michigan State and all these teams in Penn State. Like, I give the credit to BYU. They looked good last night. Arizona just looked outmatched, and I'm not ready to jump off the bandwagon because of one good game. I wouldn't worry
24,
about it.
guys.
That's an old quarterback.
Yeah, that is very
Twenty-
He's turning 25 in 6 days.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
A 25-year-old quarterback in college football. Anyway, yeah, are you guys off the Arizona bandwagon?
Okay, so the thing is that Arizona, they have to get off to a fast start, and that's how they win games. That's all they have is their rushing attack. They don't pass. Khalil Tate is he's not a great passer. And
No,
so
yeah.
they have to run the ball. And with only 14 yards rushing, they're not going to win games.
See, I was concerned. The only thing that does concern me, look at their schedule. BYU, they lose. Now they go at Houston. Houston's a good little team. Then they get a win in some bum school, but win in Oregon State. But then they go USC, Cal, at Utah, at UCLA, home versus Oregon. Like, that's a tough stretch. You're at
I
Utah,
totally agree.
at UCLA. That's brutal. And that just scares me. But I know, I'm not jumping off the bandwagon by any means.
Yeah, I think this next game against Houston's really crucial, though, because
Yep.
if they lose that, too, then, I mean, you get a couple wins, and then, like Jason said, the schedule just kind of turns over on itself, and if you cannot get any momentum, if you're Arizona, I think it's going to be a tough season.
Yeah, I mean, if you start off 2-2 going into conference play, they might not touch 6 wins, or 5 wins even. They got Washington State, Arizona State, and then that's 4, and I don't know where they get the next one. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, next week will be really fun. Arizona, Houston, the battle of the Heismans, maybe. Heisman hopefuls and Ed Oliver and Khalil Tate. But, yeah, I mean, late game. I can honestly say I didn't stay up for all of it. Watched the first half and went to bed. Like, these Pac-12 games are so hard to stay up for. Midwest, yeah, it's just not my thing. All right, Dan, what's your last one?
So my last one is Alabama's offense. If you watch this game, and I watched the game after Notre Dame.
I was going to say, no way you watched this during the game, but okay.
If you watch this game, oh my, this is a different Alabama team, and an even better Alabama team.
How good did Jalen Hurts look?
Okay, well, his receivers did not help him whatsoever, though.
I was kidding.
No, like actually, his receivers dropped 3 balls. So,
yeah.
But still, Tua, unbelievable. Like, Alabama's offense is going to be amazing. I forget what the one freshman, I forget what his name is, that had a return for a touchdown. You've never seen this kind of, like,
Josh
normally
Jacobs?
it's like power kind of stuff with Alabama. They're so athletic and fast, and this is so different. No one's going to beat Alabama this year. It's
Disgusting.
insane.
Another Alabama, like...
But see,
Oh,
this
no.
is a team for Alabama, at least for me, where, like, I kind of want to, like, I could root for this team. They're fun. They're, like, I agree with Dan.
Right.
They're not the...
Yeah, it's a fun team to watch.
they're not the power, give the ball to Derrick Henry 35 times and they just out-muscle people. This is we have skill, and we're going to beat you for an 80-yard touchdown every single drive if you let us. Like, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Tua, so I like watching him. And if Alabama puts up points, then at least they're fun to watch, so I can get behind them.
Yeah, I think Tua's going to be, good. I do think that you've got to keep Jalen Hurts in there. I would worry about Tua if he has to play every single snap all year long. I think he could start to, wear out or just, tire out. I don't know. I think having Hurts as the best backup in college football would definitely help. I'm not saying a 2 QB system by any means, but just have Hurts ready, keep him in. I mean, just like they did against Louisville, 9 passes. I really liked the way they used the quarterbacks this year. One last thing I do want to say about Bama. I mentioned this last night when we were watching the games. I truly think that Saban thinks and knows that Tua is the better quarterback, and he doesn't want to disrespect Jalen Hurts. So what he's doing is he's going to keep this 2 QB thing until Tua plays good enough where you can't bench him, or Hurts plays himself onto the bench. He's going to let them decide their fate, even though he knows Tua is the better quarterback. That's my personal opinion.
Well, what happens when Hurts isn't bad, though?
I mean, even last night he wasn't bad, and if you look at any headline, it's how Tua should be playing all the time. It already kind of happened, if you ask me.
Right, yeah. Everyone knows Tua should be playing. The thing is that he's trying to get Jalen Hurts playing time so that he doesn't transfer. Yeah. That's exactly what he's doing.
Exactly, and I think he's doing it smartly. I like what Saban's doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. All right, my last thing I want to bring up is just Michigan State. It's my team that I grew up loving, and let's just call it what it is. They didn't look good. I'm sure, Dan, I don't know, Dan, did you watch the whole game? Dylan and I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, Utah State looked like a squad to hang with. I don't want to say, Michigan State, this doesn't matter for Michigan State. Yes, there are definite concerns on this Spartan team, but Jordan Love, he made so many good decisions in that option and the options, handing the ball off to Darwin Thompson or keeping it or whatever it may be. He looked so good. He was legitimately carving up this Michigan State defense for about 3.5 quarters. Don't look at the box score. You have to watch the game. He looked incredible, in my opinion. Do you guys agree with that, first off?
Yeah.
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 I mean, it's Michigan State, though. I think they should have done more against him.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, now let's talk about the Michigan State side. They struggled, and for me, it was more trying to figure out why than, they looked bad. It was just what's going wrong? Because while they looked bad, I personally at least came out of the game thinking if they clean a few things up, they are a definite team to be hung with. I didn't come out of this oh gosh, Michigan State, they are definitely should not be this ranked as high. They are not as good as everyone thinks. I came out of it as it's the first game of the year. They look a little sloppy. If they clean a few things up, they're not going to be that bad. For me, the other thing I want to talk about is the unforced penalties. That was so much of this game. If you take away a few late hits, a few roughing the passers, a few whatevers, that is so much of these extended drives that Utah State got on. And those things are fixable. Those aren't things like their quarterback sucks. Their running back's bad. Those things are so fixable, and so that gives me some confidence. All of this to say, if you're one of the people that on Monday or Tuesday morning is going to write the headlines of Penn State sucks, Michigan State sucks, Miami sucks, whoever else sucks that lost, Washington, chill out. This is more than Michigan State. This is more than one team. This is everybody. I'm making a conscious effort to not get caught up in the headlines with week 1, week 2. It is one game. Michigan State's going to be fine. Penn State's going to be fine. Washington is still a very good team. Who's the last one I'm forgetting? Miami is still a very good team. That one's a little more... That one's harder to say because of the fashion they lost in. But still, I just wanted to put that out there before we go into our last thoughts or whatever. Do not freak out.
The one thing I want to say about Michigan State, actually the two things I looked at, Brian Lewerke, he's not a Heisman contender like everybody was talking about. The other thing,
I disagree.
Their offensive line.
I agree that he's not a Heisman because of the stats. I disagree that he doesn't have the potential to be a Heisman player. Continue.
Okay. Other thing, offensive line. I said it coming into the season. I don't think it's very good, and it showed in that game. So I don't think they can get wins over Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan because of that, because their defensive lines are so good.
Yeah, I disagree. Just because you look at these offensive playmakers they have, they are so good. And the offensive line just needs to tighten things up. It's week 1. They came out soft. I mean, it wasn't they played bad. They came out soft. Yes, they played bad, but it was because they came out soft. They legitimately looked scared of Utah State. And if that happens all year long, I agree.
They're scared
but
of Utah State.
That's not going to be a concern to me because Mark D'Antonio knows how to get a team together. I think people are not sleeping on this offensive line because they're not, like, powerful or anything, but, like, they're better than they looked on Saturday. And if they tighten up their protection, this team is going to be fine. I just have to disagree with you, Dan, because I think I don't know how to say this right. Like, I think the minute they look like they're struggling, you're going to immediately think, hey, I was right because you called this in the preseason. Like, look, I knew they were going to look so bad. I would say give it a few games. See what they do against Arizona State.
But it was Utah State, man. Like,
but who cares? It's one game.
They have to play Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State, 3 of the top.
Yes, but that's in like 6 weeks. A lot changes in 6 weeks. We saw Tarek Black get hurt this week. We saw Rashawn Gary get hurt this week.
So you're saying that Michigan State's offensive line can get even more...
I'm saying Michigan State's offensive line will get better as the season goes on and will definitely be able to hang with these defensive lines in the Big Ten.
All right, I don't think so.
All right. Any last thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
Just one. Texas, they're not back. We thought they could compete for the Big 12. They're not back. They're ranked every year. Probably shouldn't be. Not back. There you go.
Yeah. I had to talk about my Hoosiers for a little bit. Got the dub over FIU. Michael Penix Jr. got in at the end of the game, too. The freshman lefty. 8 for 10, 96 yards and a touchdown. He looked great. The running back by committee. I mean, it worked this game.
Committee? There is one guy that got more carries than everybody. He's my interpersonal communication classmate. It's my boy Stevie Scott. 20 carries.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the team still got 25, though. So this whole thing is supposed to be a running back by committee.
How many guys got carries? Like 7, I swear.
Yeah. Something like that. And also... Tom Allen ruined my parlay at the end of the game. I hit on Notre Dame, Northwestern, and West Virginia, but IU, I had it at minus 10.5. They could have kicked a field goal with like 2 seconds left, got me the win, but no, they run the ball and don't get into the end zone. So,
well, damn, man, golly.
Tom Allen, what a guy.
Yeah, my last thought. There was something I saw on Twitter. I don't even know who it was from. It's about Dwayne Haskins. They compared him to Jameis Winston. And so I went back and watched some of the game. And I really do like the comparisons. Jameis Winston was like 6'4", 230, I think. And Haskins is 6'3", 220. He's a bit smaller, but not by much. If you watch him the way he plays, he did remind me a lot of Jameis. It sounds weird. He was kind of the guy that won me over this week. While, like I mentioned, Shea Patterson kind of turned me off this week. Dwayne Haskins really opened my eyes, and I thought he had one heck of a day. And he showed to me that he can be a legitimate quarterback, something I wasn't sure of coming into the season.
Yeah, I don't think he's that good, but I mean,
just like the way he plays. Not saying he's about Heisman.
Also look at the opponent too, but yeah, I got.
Are you sleeping on one of the 4 teams in my playoff, Oregon State?
The bottom 4 playoff.
Heck yeah, we're making that a thing. Happen. The bottom 4 playoff. We're going to bring this up on every episode, Dan.
Even though a legit thing should be the group of 5 playoff.
No. You put one group of 5 team. You put, like, the UCF in the bottom 4.
UCF dominates.
Dude,
Auburn last year.
Yeah, Auburn's not as good as Rutgers. Give me Rutgers' team last year.
What?
Yeah. I want to see a bottom 4 playoff. We talk about this on all the episodes. I want to see Rutgers, Illinois, Oregon State, and who's the other one? Kansas. Those 4 who lost a nickel. Shout out Kansas. They freaking suck. I want to see those. I want to see those 4 play each other in a playoff. The winner gets the best of the Power 5. Then they just get destroyed. That would be awesome. I want to see it.
Wouldn't the loser get the
best? Loser. Whoever loses by the worst. That's true. Good call. Yeah. Well, that is going to do it for this episode. I just want to run you guys through our schedule for the upcoming weeks, and basically like a weekly schedule we have. Tentatively, early in the week, Monday, Tuesday, Dylan and I, and when Dan can, are going to put out an NFL preview. Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to put out a college football preview of the upcoming week. Then obviously the games will go on Saturday, Sunday. And hopefully, as soon as the games are over, Saturday night or Sunday night, we will be doing an instant reactions recap of the entire week, just like we did tonight after the LSU-Miami game. Obviously, Florida State's not played yet, but we're going to try and do this. If you guys want to see anything else, comment below. Dylan's talking about making his own show, so we'll keep you updated on that as we get closer to that. All of this and more will be put on our Twitter at the Sports Sermon, Sports with a Z. So we really just want you guys to stay in the loop. Let us know if you guys want to hear about anything else. That's our schedule. Thank you so much for listening. Zach, thank you for joining us tonight, and we will see you guys tomorrow.